Hey everybody, I'm sitting here in the kitchen of my dorm room floor here at USF, and I've got great news. As the proud eBay-aholic that I am, I was looking through the pages of eBay for shit that I don't even need to buy, and I found something awesome. I found this. This is a 6x14 inch 20 ply maple snare drum shell. Now, I know you may be kind of skeptical because it's kind of beat up, the finish has been taken off in some places, and to be honest, the finish is a bit lackluster. But it's all good, because you never complain at the price that I got this at. A raw 20 ply 14 inch maple shell costs somewhere between $200 and $300. And to be honest, I don't have anywhere near that kind of money for a snare drum shell that hasn't even been finished. I got this for less than $100, and all the woodwork's already been done for me. As you can see, the bearing edges have already been cut right along here. All the holes for the lugs have been drilled, and even though it's a specific measurement and I have to work with a very limited hardware supply, it's all good, because I ended up saving a lot of money in the end. It's already got the holes right here for the butt plate drilled in, and on the other side, it's got the holes drilled for the throw-off. And the best part about this shell, other than the fact that I got it really cheap, was that it has these 4 2-inch vent holes drilled into it, which is awesome because I've been wanting a vented snare for a really long time. I would have been really afraid to take a circular saw and go apeshit. But in any case, I've been wanting to document myself doing refinishing or building of custom drums for a really long time. But like I said, since I never really have money, it's kind of hard to get that whole thing moving. So now that I've got this snare shell, I've already realized what I want to do with it. Now, I'm not a really big fan of wine red, and I'm not even bigger of a fan of wine red that to the point where the lacquer finish that was on the drum, see this shiny spot right here where the badge was, has been smoked up because it's been in a smoker's home. So I'm going to refinish this in a black lacquer. Now, black seems kind of boring amongst all the awesome color schemes custom drum companies are doing today, but spending money on a wrap isn't really in the question at this point. And since it's already stained, black is a lot easier for it to cover up and still look great. But before I do any staining, and do not make this mistake if you're doing it to your own drums, I have to take the lacquer finish off. So, today I ended up going to Home Depot, and I asked somebody in the paint department what kind of solvent or chemical I would use to take a lacquer finish off an existing piece of wood. Remember, your snare drum's really no different than any other piece of wood when it comes to the finish on it, except that most people don't wrap planks of wood in glitter. But either case, I decided to ask him that question, and he pointed me to the aisle that had this in it. This is a refinisher, and it's enough to do about 3 of these bad boys. Do not use a stripper if you're going to be doing this to your wood, because a refinisher takes off lacquer, and a stripper takes off a different kind of furniture-only varnish. I'm only saying that because that's what the guy told me, and I don't want you guys to make the same mistake I would have made had I not asked the question. Obviously, another thing you're going to need in this case, or 2 things you're going to need in this case, one is sandpaper. Now, this is a medium grade 100 grit sandpaper block on a handle. This also cost me about $6, just like the varnish refinisher did. I went for pure convenience. You can definitely get these for cheaper than $6 because you can get sheets of sandpaper for like $2. But I literally went for pure convenience on this one because I can't really make much of a mess around here. You're going to need gloves to do this because you don't want chemical burns on your hand. An awesome alternative when you don't have gloves is something like the plastic bag you bought the shit in. And that's what I'm going to be doing while I'm finishing this drum.
Swimming pool with no bodies is a problem that we can fix. He dropped his clothes on the Chase Lounge and asked, "Are you gonna come in?" And in the night, the only light was the
Alrighty, Today is day 2 of the refinishing process. Last night during phase 1 of this whole thing, I was able to strip off the existing lacquer finish from my new snare drum shell and apply 3 really good coats of satin black spray paint on it. You already saw the pictures from after the first 2 coats, but I put another coat on after I took those, and now here's what it's looking like. Friggin' fantastic. This thing is looking super sweet right now. I'm falling in love with it already. As a planning process for this whole thing, I wanted to get it as smooth as possible, so some of the places where the paint accumulated a lot more than it should have during my coats, I actually scrubbed down. Right here there's some wine red still there from the original finish because I sanded it down to the point where it was even, and when I put these next 2 coats on, it's going to look super nice. I can't wait, you don't even know, and I'm just getting really super stoked. The only things that I ran into that were kind of, I guess, a little bit iffy were because the plies are so thick and the vents are so big. As you can see right here, the interior of the interior of the vents are black, but it's all good. Other than that, right here, I got some spray paint that went into the hole through my masking job, which is, it's all good. I mean, if I was doing it for someone else, I'd be super bummed right now, but since it's just for me, it's all good, no problems at all. If anything, I'll probably just do like an interior black stain to cover it all up, but I'm still really super stoked about how this is looking because I haven't spent more than $20 finishing this drum, and it's looking pretty damn sweet right now. I've used nothing more than some sandpaper, a little bit of alcohol, and $3 Krylon flat black spray paint. And I'm not trying to do any advertising, but this shit is doing the job. The only thing I'm probably going to need after this is a nice little satin gloss spray paint to put over it, and it'll look fantastic. But I'm going to put 2 more coats on after masking it, and then there will be my final product for the night. But here's that. With only one really big problem area still standing out, as you can see, I still have spray paint on my hands. It's probably the biggest pain in the ass to take off spray paint from your fingers, man. Whatever. Either way, I saw the massive destruction that I caused on the inside of my shell because of just the angle of the way I was holding the can, and there's random spray patterns, and certain parts of the inside just have more black than others, and the bearing edges were torn up. But you know what? I figured, like I said in my last little section, why not do an interior spray? So I went with a little inspiration I got from today and did a gold interior stain. And I mean, it doesn't look as great on film as it does in person, but I really am liking the way it's looking. I even made sure to do 2 small details. The vents, the interior is no longer black, it's actually gold, which looks really cool from the outside of the shell. And another thing I did was I don't know if you can see it right here, but I put a little No Name Drums insignia on the inside via tape, and it looks really rugged, and it's just a reminder of how bad my tape job was, this time around, and I'm really digging the way it came out. Like I said, the only problem area with the whole shell is right here where the butt plate goes. It's just a little bit of uneven and some scraping that happened from the existing finish underneath here, and I've sanded until my fingers have gone raw and I just can't get rid of it. But either way, I've come up with a pretty awesome way to cover it up, and you're going to see it in these next few pictures I'm going to show you. And the last picture of the slide will definitely be, the final, at least finish, like the finished product for the drum. And then the next video I'll be putting out will be, assembling the hardware and tuning this bad boy. And until then, I can't wait. And you guys are just going to have to stay tuned for more stuff from No Name Custom Drums.